Alright, welcome back to another league race, this time with DNS, and this time we are in Canada for the Canadian Grand Prix. So, getting straight into this one, I didn't want to be on the Hypersofts, that was my goal from the beginning, so here's my first lap on a set of supers, not the greatest exit to the final chicane, and it's I'm just starting now, this is when I started my lap, and my lap to 109.6, which is okay I guess on super softs, not too bad. I did feel there was a bit of time to be found in that lap, but went for a second lap. Didn't. I was improving. Sorry, I was improving, I should say. But after a lap of same ERS, and I'd go ahead and do that on the flipping the exit of turn 4. So that was great. I thought that was fantastic. So, anyways, why I'm still watching this, I'm not sure. I ended up doing after this, I ended up going back into the pits and straight back out again, because I didn't have enough fuel to do another lap. So that was my thinking when it came to this set of supers, because there's plenty of time and Canada's not a place you need a lot of time to really circle around. So that was the thinking there. I should have clipped this a bit more, but oh well. Guess there's nothing that can be done for now. So anyways, come into the pits then and not put on, but go out again on a set of supers. I didn't improve. It's my third or fourth lap on them, so got close. You know, I can see going through sector 2, I was improving, and then this corner wasn't fantastic. Well, for that reason alone. So the potential was there, but I fluffed it up. I screwed it up. I done messed it up. So that ended that run, and it's time to go back into the pits. So try to save ultras, and hopefully they'll get the job that I need done. Why did I not cut this? I did the worst job in the world editing this, apparently, because apparently I cut nothing out. Oops. There's no need to see this. There really isn't. Oh, I understand now. Ha ha ha, I get it. Future me realizes what happened. So anyways, on ultra softs, here we go then for a lap. Just difficult coming out of turn 1. You see Steve was right there. I want to use all that track that he was on, and I think I may have lost a little bit of time, but nothing too much. Come through turn 3 and 4 again, and look at that nonsense, man. Come on, that was nothing. So that's an invalidated lap. Turn everything down and get ready to go on another run. Here we go then. Getting ready now, and I think this is actually after that lap, so this is the next lap, I believe. The worst run in the world out of the final chicane. The worst run. We could have been on for easy for an 8 there, very very easily. But it is provisional pole, 19.1 on ultra. So not on pole, is behind me. He did a 9.2 on supers. So that's where he was. Coming out then of the last lap, then I went a bit wide there, and that's going to do it then for my qualifying, but it didn't matter. George is not on pole side, not to improve, so he's going to stay on the super softs and see what he can do from there. So I was like, I'm on pole, but I don't know how this race will go, because he's not on poles on the better tires, so it's going to be interesting for me to find out how this race would unfold. So anyways, heading into the session. You can see there's clearly rain at the end. I didn't even take notice of this at all. No one else did, apparently, because they didn't say anything. But completely ignored it. Completely ignored the fact that there was rain going to happen during this race. So it came as a surprise to me then when I found out it was raining. But here we go then. For the best seat in the house. A short run down to turn 1. And away we go. Tez is on hypers behind, and I knew he was going to be quick starting. And there he is. He's instantly up into second. I go defensive. He makes contact with me, pushes me a bit wide. Thankfully, wasn't off the track, and I can continue on then. And that's a very good start, because not on pole is falling a few positions behind already, and that's what I need him to be in traffic. And then I can kind of make a push, kind of survive these first few laps on the ultras where the hyper is still quicker, and then after that, boom, good to go then. Good to go after that. So the rest of this lap then is just kind of circulating around. This was really it for the first lap. I mean, the big key here was to avoid penalties, not to get penalties. I really needed to do that, and I drove a bit slowly, trying to do that. Because that really was an objective. Because I was afraid that George might get me, and if he does, I need to be in a position where I have less penalties than him. So that was what the thinking was for this race anyway. You can see the Mercedes a little bit far back on the map there, so good first lap, hoping then to build on that from there to come across the line, of course, to complete lap 1. Head on to lap 3 then, almost to lap 4, and you can see the gap then behind it is 2.2 seconds, so stretching out the gap then to these runners on the Hypersauce rather. And that was what this first stint was, man. You can see that Not on Pole has just got by Trench, and now he's navigated those Hypersoft runners. That's where things kind of stand at the moment, and he is now 4.6 seconds behind. So I've got a nice healthy margin, and I just want to keep pressing on and keep pressing on. Lap 10 and lap 11, he's closed a bit, I believe. So again, this race is flying by, so 3.9 or so. And yep, just continuing to tour around with these ultras. Eventually they're going to fall away from me, but just continuing to avoid penalties, just take it nice and slow. Just checking for penalties here at the moment, and that's I did see George did have a penalty, so I was like, oh, that's good. It's good to keep in mind. Lap 12. I decided to check the weather because there were rumbles in the party that there was going to be rain, and sure enough, Jeff is telling me that there's going to be rain in 10 minutes time. So that would take me to lap 22, possibly lap 24. So that made things very, very interesting. Because now, do you stretch the tires? Like, how far do you go? So a few laps later, it was actually 15 minutes till rain. So when I saw that, I was like, yep, okay, that's fine. I'm going to pit. Because my pit window was coming soon. I was debating whether to extend it or come in, and I thought, okay, do I need to do the ultras or the supers? Before we do that though, somewhere along the way I tried to do a voice command, and the game put me on wets, so I had to flip and very, very quickly get to change the supers, and I hope that it wouldn't put me on wets. Thankfully it didn't put me on wets. It went on supers because I took the chance that in the event that it didn't rain enough, these tires would get me to the end. I was debating whether, thinking if it rained, I could put on a set of ultras, blast on these ultras until I get to the rain, and then put on the intermediates. So that was the thinking. I thought, nah, let's play it safe. Let's play it safe with the supers just in case. And George will have whatever advantage he has then on the Ultrasoft. So he pits onto these Ultrasoft now. He's in the pits, you can see. I'm just going to nip by Carl here for P2. He's on much older tyres. He's not made a stop waiting for this rain. So we get that move done then heading into the chicane. He was he played nicely with that one. So anyways, you're going to see then that I do the fast. Sorry, George hasn't come into the pits yet. Sorry, he's still out, but you can see the gap is closing a lot, and I am closing down quickly. So I'm getting nice time here, but knowing that he's going to give time back on those. I'm going to give time back on those ultras then when he's on ultras. He's into the pits then. Is George, and with by him he's on ultras. So that's a long way to get ultras. Basically after the half of the race, and then unfortunately I don't know what happened, but he retired. He had some sort of incident, I think, with, I don't know if it was Mara Messi or something, but yeah, I was disappointed because I was really curious to see how that race was going to end, and that was kind of my main rival for this race out of the equation. So lap 23 then, I've extended the gap to Carl, who still hasn't pitted yet on those supers. Trench, I believe, has made a stop, and that's the gap at the moment. It's around 8.7. So continuing on, lap 24, I believe this is when the rain is going to start. There it is. So the rain is starting lap 24. So okay, how my thinking was, okay, how quickly then is the track going to get wet? Is it going to be wet enough? How quickly will this rain fall? So lap 27 then, Trent just got by Carl. I think Carl may have pitted. So that's where we are at this phase of the race. Rain still falling, but not not really quick enough or hard enough to make a quick change. So they're only 3 tenths down in the first sector, so there's nowhere near time enough yet to change. Getting closer to the end of the race then, lap 30, heading up to lap 31. So we're getting closer to the point where it doesn't really make much sense to come in for a set of inters, but we are getting slower. 3 seconds a lap now slower than the fastest lap. So it's getting closer. Track is definitely getting slower, but not slow enough yet for this. And this is the last lap then, lap 35. So this race kind of went by very, very quickly. I got the strategy right. Some people did 2 stops for some reason. They did ultra. Good grief, could it be any louder outside? Bloody hell. I did the 1 stop, the safe stop. I maximized my time on each tire. I didn't stay out way longer than I should have, like Carl did. I didn't do a 2 stop. I didn't get penalties, and that's kind of all these reasons why the gap is so big. So anyways, going to come across the line to win the Canadian Grand Prix. I was happy to do that. A good win, very good win. 7 seconds slower in the end, so it was definitely close to Inters, but that's we made it in the end. So this is gonna be a funny little clip here, because Carl is battling Trench here for a P2, and he's not having it. But Trench is gonna get such a better exit at the end, and poor old Carl's gonna get done for P2 right at the death. Penalties, it wouldn't have mattered. Like that was the battle for position. They both had 9 seconds worth of penalties, so that was funny. So I thought that was funny. Anyways, that's a good race for us though. Again, it looked easy, but you know, it was just doing the right strategy. Like that's all it came down to. People did the wrong strategies, and unfortunately, not on pole, retired from the race. So again, I think he could have been right there, and he probably would have beaten me. But sadly, he had issues, so that's unfortunate. But hey, that's racing sometimes. I wish I could have seen what happened, but anyway, that's going to do it for round number 5 of DNS, because Baku and Monaco were doing at the end of the season. We had issues with both of those, so that's why we're doing that at the end. So next up there, we are continuing. Is it France next? Is it France? I think we're heading to uncharted territories. I think it's France next. So that should be very interesting indeed. I look forward to a different kind of challenge. France, I've enjoyed driving once they got the frame rate issues fixed. So anyways, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, and until next time.